Good morning, students. This is ninth lecture for drug discovery. Up to the eighth lecture, we completed the design of principle of design of agonistic drugs. Now, the today's lecture include the topics design of antagonistic drug as well as design of enzyme inhibitory drug and some other topics like prodrug design, etc. Now, design of antagonist. Design of antagonist. Now, what is antagonist? We learned in the previous sections of classes about a drug which bind with its target, say receptor. A drug only bind with its receptor or target in order to prevent the access of antigen onto the specific receptor or specific target, and does not show any kind of its action on cell function or cellular functions. So those drugs are called as antagonist. Antagonistic drugs are the drugs which only bind with the receptor and does not show any effect on cell functions or any effect on cell. Those drugs are called as antagonist. Whereas agonistic drug, after binding with the target, they have capability to show some kind of action on cell function that are called as agonistic drug. Antagonistic are the drugs which does not show any action on a cell. Now, according to your syllabus, you have to design a cimetidine, which is an antagonistic drug, anti-ulcer drug. Cimetidine, design of cimetidine. Cimetidine. Now, design of antagonistic drug, cimetidine. Now, it is an anti-ulcer drug. Cimetidine as anti-ulcer. It is an anti-ulcer drug. It acts by inhibiting the access of histamine onto the histamine receptor, or the cimetidine is an antagonistic drug. Cimetidine is an antagonistic drug. It acts by binding with histamine 2 receptor, H2 receptor. Its action will be the binding with H2 receptor, histamine 2 receptor. Now, coming to the biochemistry of ulcer. Now, ulcer is a disorder of digestive system where the damage of epithelial layer due to the excessive secretion of hydrochloric acid, which in turns due to the more interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor. Histamine when interacted more with histamine 2 receptor to form histamine 2 receptor complex. This we have already discussed in the previous sections. A histamine when interacted with histamine 2 receptor, it will form histamine 2 receptor complex. This complex is a promoter of proton pump. Promoter for proton pump. Thereby, the proton pump secreted hydrochloric acid in excess concentration. Excess hydrochloric acid is secreted. The excess secretion of hydrochloric acid causes ulcer. So this is the biochemistry of ulcer. Histamine when interacted with histamine 2 receptor in excessive concentration, when more interacted to form histamine 2 receptor complex. This is the complex acts as a promoter which promotes the proton pump to secrete more hydrochloric acid. Thereby the proton pump secreted more hydrochloric acid. This proton pump is present in gastric mucosa, that is in digestive system. So proton pump thereby secreted more hydrochloric acid, which causes the ulcer. Is it clear? So this is the simple biochemistry of cause of ulcer. Now, due to the excessive secretion of histamine, excessive interaction with histamine 2 receptor, more promotion of proton pump, more hydrochloric acid secretion causes the ulcer. So this is the biochemistry. Now, what we have to do by the after study of its biochemistry, we have to prevent the interaction to reduce the ulcer. What we have to do to reduce the ulcer? We have to prevent the interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor. Interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor, when prevented, what happens? The histamine 2 receptor complex formation is reduced, thereby proton pump is not more initiated or more promoted, less promoted. When the concentration of histamine 2 receptor complex is less, the proton pump will be less promoted, thereby hydrochloric acid is secreted under desired concentration, relieved from the ulcer. Is it clear? So our aim is to prevent this interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor, designing some drug molecule based on the histamine structure. So the cimetidine is the drug, acts as an anti-ulcer agent, as an antagonist by interacting with histamine 2 receptor. So based on the histamine structure, the cimetidine was designed. An antagonistic drug cimetidine was designed. Let us see how it is designed. Now, NH, an imidazole ring, NH2. This is histamine. Now based on histamine structure, the cimetidine antagonistic was designed first. Now histamine, based on the histamine structure, it was transformed into its guanidine derivative. Say, I am writing here. NH2. So this is histamine structure. So based on its structure, first its guanidine derivative was designed. NH here, C double bond NH2 here, positive charge NH2. A guanidine derivative was designed. Now this is N-guanyl histamine. N-guanyl histamine. Now, based on the histamine structure, introducing a guanidine at terminal, that is on NH2 group, to get N-guanyl histamine initially. Now, N-guanyl histamine, however, it shows a partial antagonistic activity. Partial antagonist. However, it shows, but it acts as a partial antagonist. Is it clear? Therefore, now from N-guanyl histamine, to overcome its partial antagonistic activity, instead of in place of NH group, it was replaced with sulfur to get isothiourea derivative. isothiourea derivative. Now sulfur here, double bond NH2 plus charge NH2. Now this is, now you see what is the difference. N-guanyl histamine was obtained by introducing a guanidine moiety on nitrogen, terminal nitrogen of histamine, to get N-guanyl histamine, where it acts as only partial antagonist. It shows only partial antagonistic activity. Therefore, its NH group is replaced with some sulfur to get isothiourea derivative. Isothiourea. Isothiourea derivative. Isothiourea derivative. Now, however, the isothiourea derivative, where replacement of NH by sulfur to get this derivative, it shows antagonistic activity. However, it shows antagonistic activity. In addition to antagonistic activity, it also shows partial agonistic activity. Its activity will be improved by the replacement of NH by sulfur. Simultaneously, antagonistic activity improved. In addition, it acts as partial agonist. Partial agonist. Partial agonist. To overcome its partial agonistic activity, this sulfur, the sulfur inside the chain is exchanged with the terminal NH2 group, thereby NH here, double bond NH2 plus charge sulfur CH3. So it is further modified, that is, to overcome partial agonistic activity of isothiourea derivative, where the sulfur is exchanged from internal chain into terminal, that is, this NH2 group was placed in place of sulfur, and sulfur was replaced to here as thiomethyl. This is thiomethyl. Thiomethyl derivative. Thiomethyl derivative. Now, by doing so, this exchange leads to again decrease the antagonistic activity. That is, it acts as partial antagonist. It acts as a partial antagonist. You see, when sulfur is kept here, what happens? Its antagonistic activity improved. When sulfur, and in addition, it shows partial agonistic activity. Therefore, the sulfur atom is exchanged from internal to terminal. So what happens when the sulfur was exchanged? What happens? To get thiomethyl derivative is obtained, but its antagonistic activity will be decreased. It acts only partial antagonistic activity. What it indicated? The terminal two nitrogens are important for its antagonistic activity. When we replace one nitrogen by the sulfur, what happens? Again it shows partial antagonistic activity. Indicated there are two nitrogens on terminal atoms, or two terminal atoms are very, very important for antagonistic activity. Therefore, again modified into NH nitrogen nitrogen, NH here, NH here, sulfur, NH, CH3. Now you see what is the modification. Now where the internal chain length is increased from 2 carbon to 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. Is it clear? Now partial, and to overcome the partial antagonistic activity of thiomethyl derivative, this was further modified into burimide. This is burimide. This is burimide. Now you see where the 2 carbon chain is replaced with 4 carbon, is changed with 4 carbon side chains. Now again NH is NH. Now this NH2 group was replaced to sulfur, and this NH2 group was exchanged with NHCH3. Now this is burimide derivative. Now a burimide derivative, however, shows antagonistic activity. However, it is a good antagonistic activity. Unfortunately, its absorption is less absorbed. It is less absorbed. You see, this exchange, this modification leads to improving antagonistic activity, but unfortunately it is less absorbed by the tissue. Therefore, it is further modified. To overcome what is the problem of burimide. However, it is an antagonist, good antagonist, but its absorption will be less. Therefore, it is further modified as further modified as 1, 2, 3, 4 NH here, CH3. Now there are two changes. One sulfur atom is introduced at second position. Here a sulfur is introduced, and the other change will be the CH3 group was introduced in imidazole ring. Now this is methyamide. Methioamide derivative. So modification, why we are modified? To improve the absorption, where the burimide is associated with less absorption. Therefore it was further modified to improve its absorption, rate of its absorption. A sulfur atom was introduced in the 4 carbon side chain to get methioamide derivative. Now however, again, now why sulfur is introduced? To improve the to improve the rate of absorption, the sulfur was introduced to get the derivative. However, it is an antagonist, but it shows some side effect. It is an antagonist. It acts as an antagonist, but unfortunately it associated with the side effect. It shows side effects. It shows some side effect. Therefore further modified as CH3 here, sulfur, NH here, NHCH3, now NCN. This is the modification where in the methyl thioamide derivative, to overcome its side effect, this sulfur group S double bond C double bond S sulfur group is replaced with a nitrogen NCN group. Is it clear? Now to get cimetidine, this is cimetidine. This is cimetidine. It acts as an antagonist. It acts as an antagonist without any side effect. So this is about the design of cimetidine. Is it clear? Now first, to prevent the interaction, why ulcer is occurs? Ulcer is due to more interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor. If we prevent this interaction, histamine interaction with histamine 2 receptor, then we can cure the ulcer or we can treat the ulcer. So based on the histamine structure, it was modified into, first initially it was modified into N-acyl N-guanyl histamine by introducing guanidine nuclei moiety in the terminal side chain to get N-guanyl histamine. N-guanyl histamine acts as a poor antagonistic or partial antagonist. Therefore it was modified by introducing one sulfur in the side chain to get isothiourea, where it acts as an antagonist, but in addition it also acts as a partial agonistic activity. Therefore the sulfur atom is exchanged from the side chain internal to the terminal to get thiomethyl derivative, where it acts as a partial, again its activity will be reduced, acts as a partial antagonist. Therefore it indicated the terminal 2 nitrogens are important for its antagonistic activity. Hence further modified into buryamide by extending the carbon side chain from 2 carbon to 4 carbons, where the antagonistic activity increased, but unfortunately its absorption is less, buryamide absorption is less. Therefore again modified, again introducing one sulfur in the 4 carbon side chain and one methyl group in the imidazole ring to get methioamide derivative, where it acts as antagonist but it also shows side effect. Therefore finally modified, replacement of sulfur into NCN group to get a cimetidine with a pure antagonistic activity without any side effect. Now cimetidine is the drug which interact with histamine 2 receptor, thereby prevented the interaction of histamine with histamine 2 receptor. Hence HCl secretion is decreases and relieved from the pain of ulcer. So this is about design of antagonist. Next, design of enzyme inhibitory drugs. Design of enzyme inhibitor. Design of enzyme inhibitor. Now, whatever the drug which inhibited the function of enzyme, whatever the drug which inhibited or which reduced the functioning or activity of enzyme are called as enzyme inhibitory drugs. Now in the targets we also covered or we also discussed about the enzymes as a targets. In certain conditions, certain cases where the enzyme overactivation causes some kind of diseases. So the whatever the drugs which inhibited the activity of enzyme or reduced the functioning of enzyme are called as enzyme inhibitory drug. According to your syllabus, you have to learn about the design of captopril, which is an antihypertensive agent. Captopril. Design of captopril. Design of captopril. Now captopril is an antihypertensive. Captopril is an antihypertensive agent. It acts by inhibiting the active enzyme which is involved in the cause of hypertension. So whatever the enzyme which actively involved or contributed in the cause of hypertension, that enzyme will be inhibited by the captopril. Therefore, the captopril is the enzyme inhibitory antihypertensive agent. Now, biochemistry of hypertension. Biochemistry of hypertension. Let us see how the hypertension is caused. Now, first, the angiotensin. Angiotensin is a polypeptide. It is a material of polypeptide. It is a polypeptide. It was hydrolyzed first by renin. It was hydrolyzed first by renin. Renin is a hormone into angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1. Where angiotensin is a polypeptide, get hydrolyzed with renin to give angiotensin 1. It is a decapeptide. It is a decapeptide. Further, the angiotensin 1 is hydrolyzed to give angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2. It's a octapeptide. It is an octapeptide. Now you see, angiotensin is a polypeptide hydrolyzed by the renin, which is hormone, to angiotensin 1, which is a decapeptide. Angiotensin 1 is further hydrolyzed by the loss of 2 peptide bonds. Angiotensin 1 is converted into angiotensin 2, which is an octapeptide, by the enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme called as ACE. Are you following? We are about the study of the cause of hypertension. Now, in earlier classes we already discussed that hypertension may also be due to the hormonal factor. Now, angiotensin, a polypeptide, when hydrolyzed into angiotensin 1 by the hormone, that is renin, to a decapeptide, angiotensin 1 is further hydrolyzed to angiotensin 2, which is octapeptide, by the enzyme called as angiotensin converting enzyme. Now, this angiotensin 2 is a hypertensive substance. The angiotensin 2 is a hypertensive substance. It causes constriction of blood vessel. It constricted the blood vessel. Angiotensin 2 is a hypertensive substance which causes the constriction of blood vessel, leading to hypertension. So this is the biochemistry of cause of hypertension due to hormonal factor. Is it clear? Now, angiotensin 2 is a hypertensive substance which leads to constriction of blood vessel. When blood vessels are constricted, which causes the hypertension. Is it clear? Now, for the treatment of hypertension caused through this biochemistry, for the treatment of hypertension, we have to inhibit, we have to prevent the formation of angiotensin 2, as the formation of angiotensin 2, that is hypertensive substance, is responsible for the constriction and hypertension. So that to relieve from hypertension, we have to prevent the formation of angiotensin 2. When there is no angiotensin 2, there is no constriction, there is no hypertension. Is it clear? Now, how angiotensin 2 is formed? By the enzyme ACE. By the enzyme ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. See, if we inhibit this enzyme, if we reduce the catalytic activity or hydrolytic activity of ACE enzyme, are you following? If we inhibit angiotensin converting enzyme, Thereby, it unable to transform angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. When there is no angiotensin 2, there is no constriction, there is no hypertension. Is it clear? Now, captopril is the enzyme inhibitory drug which act by inhibiting angiotensin converting enzyme. Captopril bind with angiotensin converting enzyme, thereby it stops the formation of angiotensin 2, relieved from the constriction and relieved from the hypertension. Is it clear? Now, coming to its design. So, now in the treatment of hypertension, what is the target? The target will be angiotensin converting to enzyme. Is it clear? Now, in earlier ancient days, the venom of the material isolated, whatever the material which isolated from the venom of South African pit viper, venom material. Are you following? Now we are going to inhibit angiotensin converting enzyme activity to prevent the formation of angiotensin 2 and constriction of blood vessel in order to relieve from hypertension. Now, earlier, the venom, the material isolated or obtained, whatever the material which obtained from the venom of South African pit viper. It is a snake, South African pit viper, whose venom, a snake venom, from which some material get isolated. So whatever the material isolated from the venom of South African pit viper shows a good anti-hypertensive activity. This material shows good anti-hypertensive activity. The venom shows, the material isolated from the venom shows a good anti-hypertensive activity. Later, it was found that this material consisting of proline residue, this material consisting of proline residue. The latter study indicated the presence of proline, which is an amino acid, the presence of proline in the material isolated from the venom of South African pit is responsible to reduce the hypertension. So whatever the material isolated from the venom showing a good anti-hypertensive activity, latter study indicated that this material consisting of proline residue, the proline residue is responsible for the anti-hypertensive activity. From this study, based on proline residue, a captopril is an anti-hypertensive agent was designed. Now, coming to captopril. This is COOH. This is proline residue based on the proline structure, isolated from consisting of material which is isolated from the venom. Now, extending the side chain, this is oxygen, CH3, SH. This is captopril structure. Captopril. How it was designed? It was designed based on a proline residue present in a material isolated from the venom of South African pit viper, which is responsible to reduce the hypertension. Is it clear? So based on that study and based on the proline structure, the captopril was designed as enzyme inhibitory drug. Now this is proline. Its side chain is extended as C double bond O, CCH3 and CH2SH group. Is it clear? Now let's its mechanism of action. Now captopril binds with angiotensin. It is an enzyme inhibitory drug used for antihypertensive activity. It inhibited the activity of angiotensin converting 2 enzyme by binding with angiotensin converting 2 enzyme, where the enzyme consisting of a zinc plus 2 ion angiotensin converting enzyme. We are going to study how it binds. Captopril binds with angiotensin converting 2 enzyme. Angiotensin converting 2 enzyme in its structure contain zinc plus 2 ion, one positive residue and hydrophobic region, and one OH group on serine residue. So this is the functionality or binding sites present in the ACE enzyme. Zinc plus 2, a positive ion and OH group and hydrophobic group, like this. No. Now you see, this is the structure of enzyme. Now enzyme, this is ACE enzyme. Structure of ACE enzyme. It consisting of zinc plus 2. This is hydrophobic region. This is a positively charged group. This is OH group on serine. This is serine. Serine residue. Serine is an amino acid. So this is the structure of ACE enzyme. Now captopril structure. Now let us study how captopril bind. A captopril, through its SH non-bonding pair of electrons, it bound with zinc plus 2. Through its proline residue, it bound with hydrophobic region through van der Waal interaction. These are van der Waal interactions. Now this is ionic interaction, where the carboxylic acid group of captopril was interacted with a positively charged group through ionic interactions. Now OH group involved. OH group of enzyme, that is C double bond O group of captopril, bound with OH group of enzyme through hydrogen bonding. This is ionic interaction, van der Waal interaction, and the hydrogen bonding interaction. Now in this way, the captopril bound with angiotensin converting enzyme. Is it clear? Now when the angiotensin converting enzyme OH group is bound with the drug, when this group is not free, it lose, the angiotensin converting enzyme lose its functioning, loss of function. It lost its function. What is its function? To hydrolyze decapeptide into octapeptide. That is angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2, that is hypertensive substance. Now when the enzyme OH group is not free, it unable to do its normal function. It unable to hydrolyze angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. When angiotensin 2 is not there, there is no constriction of blood vessel, there is no hypertension. So this is exact mechanism involved in the design of captopril with respect to binding sites available in the enzyme. Zinc plus 2 hydrophobic region, a positively charged group and OH group on serine residue. Is it clear? Now this is about the design of enzyme inhibitory drug. Now we are going to discuss about prodrug design of prodrug. Prodrugs, PRO drugs, prodrugs. Now the drugs, let us discuss what are the prodrugs. What is prodrug? Now what is prodrug? Now a drug at the time of its administration, it is in the inactive form. Any drug at the time of its application to the human body, it is inactive in its form. When it reaches to its target, it become activated only at the target. So the inactive form of the drug at the time of application, after reaching to its target, it is converted into its active form. So the inactive drugs are called as prodrugs. Inactive drugs are called as prodrug. The prodrug is a inactive form of active drug. Why should we take inactive form? Because many drugs are either acidic in nature or basic in nature. Many drugs are in their active form, they may be an acidic nature or basic nature. They may causes, when we take directly in their active form, those drugs may causes the epithelial damage. Now some other drugs in their active form consisting of a more polar functional groups. Therefore, in their active form, they may not be absorbed by the hydrophobic cell wall. That is, their absorption is less. Some other drugs in their active form, they may not be soluble properly either in lipid or either in water. Now some other drugs in their active form possesses a bad smell or unpleasant odor. Under that, the drug is unable to apply through oral process, through oral route of drug administration. So many drugs in their active form possesses either acidic nature or either basic nature or insolubility or less absorption or as well as unpleasant odor. Some other drawbacks associated. Therefore, those drugs are initially transformed into their inactive form, the active form of a drug, to avoid the unwanted property associated with the active form of a drug. It is initially transformed into inactive form. Its inactive form called as prodrug. Now, when we apply those drug, the drug is under inactive form, but when reached to its target, it become activated or it become in its active form or in its original form. Now, at the time of application, it is inactive. Therefore, there is no acidic property, there is no basic property. So we can avoid the epithelial damage. Now in the inactive form, there is no unpleasant odor, so we can avoid its unpleasant odor. In the inactive form is designed in such a way to be absorbed more, therefore its absorption problem is avoided or overcome. So to overcome all the unwanted properties whatever associated with the active form of a drug, the drugs are transformed into inactive form by introducing some inactive functional inactive groups or inactive protecting groups to overcome, listen clear, to overcome whatever the drawbacks associated with in the active form of a drug is masked by introducing one protecting group into the drug, so that all the unwanted properties are masked and transformed into inactive form called as prodrug form or inactive form. Now it is applied. After reaching to its target, it again back transformed into active form. For example, you take salicylic acid. You take salicylic acid, its structure OH, COOH. Now it is a good analgesic agent. Salicylic acid is a good analgesic activity or good analgesic drug because of its strong acidic nature. However, it is analgesic, but it is strong acid. Because of its strong acidic nature, when applied orally, it causes gastric bleeding, damage of epithelial layer called as gastric bleeding. Therefore, however analgesic, but it is unable to take directly by mouth. Why? Because of its strong acidic nature, it leads to gastric bleeding, that is damage of gastrointestinal epithelial layer. Therefore, it is transformed into acetyl salicylic acid form called as aspirin. This is active agent, active drug. Salicylic acid is an active drug. Now it is transformed into OCOCH3 COOH, aspirin, where it is inactive or prodrug. Aspirin is a prodrug. You see, aspirin is a prodrug for salicylic acid, which is analgesic. Now, where aspirin is inactive agent, it is not a active, it is inactive, so it is a prodrug. For what? For salicylic acid. Now, when we protect its OH group with acetyl group to get aspirin, its acidic nature is reduced. So that when apply aspirin to orally, there is no gastric bleeding, no damage of epithelial layer. Is it clear? Then, a doubt. If it is inactive, then how it will work? When reached to its target, this aspirin, that is prodrug, when reached to target, that is gastrointestine, say where pH is equal to 1. When aspirin reached to gastrointestine, at the conditions of pH 1, it is back converted into salicylic acid, from which analgesic activity will be elicited. Is it clear? Now you see, so that is salicylic acid is an analgesic agent. Due to its high acidic nature, it is unable to take directly by mouth due to damage of epithelial layer called as drastic bleeding, so that it will be transformed into inactive form, that is aspirin, by protecting its OH group, called as prodrug. Now it is an inactive form, hence it is prodrug, where OH group is protected to reduce acidic nature, so its acidic nature will be reduced. Now it can be easily able to take directly by mouth. Now when reached to gastric pH, that is pH is equal to 1 at the target, what happens? It become activated into salicylic acid form, where the acetyl group is hydrolyzed and salicylic acid is regenerated, and it will show its functioning of analgesic activity. Is it clear? Now, analgesic drug salicylic acid is applied at the time of application. It is in inactive form, that is in the prodrug form. We are not eating salicylic acid, we are taking simply aspirin. Aspirin is an inactive drug, that is a prodrug. At the time of application, it is a prodrug. When reached to gastric intestine, what happens? It is back converted into salicylic acid. Is it clear? So we have masked its strong acidic nature by protecting some functional group, by transforming it into inactive form. So this is about prodrug. Now all the prodrugs were designed based on the pH condition available at the target. That means all the prodrugs are activated into their active form. All the prodrugs are transformed back, converted into their active form only at the site of only at the target, because during the designing of prodrug, the prodrugs are designed in such a way to be activated only at the target. Therefore the prodrugs are activated. Now when we apply, it go anywhere, but it never activated. It activated only its target, because it was designed based on the pH. Only at the pH conditions, only and the respective pH condition, it will be back transformed into active form to show its normal functioning. Is it clear? Now coming to why should we design the prodrug? The prodrugs are designed for the purpose, number one, to improve its absorption, to improve its duration of action. Is it clear? To mask some unwanted properties. So there are different ways for the designing of prodrugs. Number one, to improve absorption. To improve absorption. Now the drug, if the drug in its active form consisting of a more polar functional groups, therefore these drugs are unable to absorb or penetrate through a lipid bilayer of cell wall. As the drug polarity improved, its hydrophilicity increases. When hydrophilicity increases, the hydrophilic drugs are not allowed to enter through the lipid layer. For example, if a drug consisting of carboxylic acid group, because of its polar nature, because of its polar group, COOH is a polar group. Because of its polar nature, it is less absorbed. So polar compounds are less absorbed by lipid layer because of their hydrophilic nature. Is it clear? Therefore, now it is less absorbed. Its rate of absorption is less. Is it clear? When this drug applied in its active form, this is active form, because of its polar function group, it is less absorbed. Is it clear? Now its absorption is improved by transforming the active form of a drug into prodrug. RCOOR by the process of esterification. When we do esterification or when we protect the OH group, carboxylic acid group is protected by transforming into ester. When we do esterification, we will get ester where its polarity decreases. Carboxylic acid polarity is more, ester polarity decreases. When its polarity decreases, its hydrophilic nature decreases and it is more absorbed. This is a absorbed, more absorbed. Ester is more absorbed. Now ester is a prodrug. Ester is a prodrug for carboxylic acid group or carboxylic acid drug. Now it is more absorbed due to less polar nature or less hydrophilic nature. After reaching to target, again it back at target. Now during its application and during its absorption, it is in the form of ester, that is in the form of prodrug. After reaching to the target, again it back converted into acid form, that is active form. Now it shows its action. Is it clear? So alternatively, by transforming active drugs into prodrugs, we may improve the absorption. Is it clear? Now prodrugs were designed for improving absorption. Now number 2, to mask unpleasant odor. To mask unpleasant odor. Now certain drugs in their active form possesses some bad smell, bad taste, unpleasant odor. Now when possesses unpleasant odor, those kind of drugs are unable to apply through the mouth. Example, you take formaldehyde. Now formaldehyde is used in the medicine for the treatment of gastrointestinal fungal disease. Formaldehyde is a good antifungal agent used in the medicine for the treatment of gastrointestinal fungal disease. But it possesses a pungent odor, so this is active agent for antifungal activity for the treatment of gastrointestinal GI tract fungal disease. Now because of its pungent odor, it is unable to apply through the mouth. Is it clear? Now it is transformed into its trioxane form by the process of polymerization. Trioxane. Trioxane, it is a prodrug. Prodrug for what? Prodrug for formaldehyde. Now a trioxane is a colorless, odorless powder. Colorless, odorless, solid powder. Now odorless, colorless powder, hence easily taken through the mouth. So this can be easily taken through the mouth. Now after reaching to gastrointestine, pH is equal to 1. After reaching a trioxane in the gastrointestine or in the target, what happens at the conditions of pH? This will be hydrolyzed. Trioxane will be back converted into formaldehyde. Now formaldehyde shows action. Is it clear? Now at the time of application or at the time of consumption, it is not a formaldehyde. Is it clear? It is a prodrug, trioxane. So trioxane is consumed. It is odorless, tasteless compound. There is no difficulty to take through the mouth. So it can be easily taken through the mouth. Is it clear? When reached to gastrointestine, it will be transformed back into formaldehyde. from which the antifungal activity will be observed. Is it clear? Now, if we take directly the active form, it is not possible because of its pungent odor. Is it clear? In order to take formaldehyde, in order to drink formaldehyde directly through the mouth is not possible because of its pungent odor. Hence, it is transformed into its inactive form, that is a prodrug form. The prodrug is easily applied. When reached to intestine, it is back converted into formaldehyde, what we need, so that the antifungal action will be observed from the formaldehyde at the intestine. Is it clear? So what happens? Prodrug design is useful to mask the unpleasant odor or unpleasant taste. Is it clear? Now, coming to third application, to improve solubility. To improve solubility. Now, any drug molecule in order to absorb, it should appropriately soluble either in water or either in lipid. If a drug is too polar, it is insoluble in lipid. If a drug is too non-polar, it is insoluble in water. So under this condition, if any drug in its active form is suffering from its solubility either in water or either in lipid, so that its solubility will be improved by masking, by protecting, by introducing some protecting group, or by transforming the active drug into a prodrug form in such a way to improve its solubility. For example, we have a hydrophilic active drug, an active form of a drug with hydrophilic nature. It is insoluble in lipid. Example, you take ROH, say hydrophilic. In the active form, say it is a hydrophilic drug. In the active form, it is insoluble in lipid. Insoluble in lipid. So that when we transform it into ester, when we transform the hydrophilic drug into its ester, it is a prodrug. Hydrophilicity decreases. It decreases the now ester hydrophilicity is less. Now active form, the OH group when it is free, it is active form, hydrophilic nature, therefore insoluble in lipid. So the drug in the active form, if insoluble in the lipid, is transformed into its prodrug in such a way to be soluble more in specified liquid, either in water or either in lipid. Now when we transform OH group into ester, it becomes prodrug in active form, where its hydrophilic nature is less, hence soluble in lipid. Soluble in lipid. After reaching to target, again back converted into active form. So this is the prodrug utility to improve the solubility. Similarly, the prodrugs are designed to improve duration of action. So it also useful. Design of prodrug is also useful to improve its duration of action. Now, say for example, if a drug in its active form has a free functional group, suffers from the duration of action, say a active form of a drug with a free functional group soon metabolized and excreted from the body, therefore its duration of action is less, so that its free functional groups are protected to transform into prodrug. After reaching to its target, the protecting groups are detached from the functional group slowly. The rate of deprotection is less. Initially, when the functional groups are free in the active form, soon metabolized and excreted, therefore duration of action is less. If we protect the free functional group of the drug, it becomes prodrug in active form. After reaching to the target, its protecting group is detached, deprotected from the functional group to provide a free functional group at the target. Now, deprotection, if the rate of deprotection is slow, then the protecting group is departed from the functional group slowly. Therefore, its action is improved. For example, you take a drug with OH functional group. If it has less duration of action, when we transform a free OH functional group into ester like a alkyl side chain of long fatty acid side chain. We know the ester with long fatty acid side chain, its rate of hydrolysis is less. When the rate of hydrolysis of ester is less, the duration of action will be improved. Is it clear? So, prodrug, you have to study only principle of design of prodrug. The prodrug is an inactive form of active drug. It was designed to avoid the drawbacks or unwanted property associated with an active form of a drug. So with this, I conclude today's lecture. You have one more topic in the first chapter in the drug design, that is about clinical trials and patents. Now we will discuss in the tomorrow's lecture. Thank you.